This is a ramble. Hey, 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 all you happy lost souls. How y'all doing out there? As I've stated in other videos, the channel is also delves into philosophy and conversations, and I used to call them Ron's Rambles. My name's Ron Jr. I'm the creator of Happy Lost Souls. If this is the first time you've ever seen a Happy Lost Souls video, it mainly deals with geology, artifacts, rocks, original music, philosophical conversations, poetry, nothing artificial or AI. It's just all mostly unscripted, off the cuff. And that's why you always want to go back and fact check things, because my facts will usually be on point, but sometimes they're just close. And the purpose of any of my videos is to give you ideas to go search for yourself, not to tell you everything about a certain idea. Maybe to point out some obscurities or new perspectives or new things that you can talk to your AI or your Google or whatever supercomputers, artificial intelligence you're using these days, and whatever little biased, quirky responses that are threaded through that you get from the programmers of the AI. Anyways, I digress, as this is all these conversations will ever be, is digressions. So there's, in my area anyway, I live outside of Philadelphia, and close to Jersey. There's been all this hubbub about these drones and what are they, and well, I mean, what are they is they're most likely ours. And I know this because my ex-brother-in-law was a millwright. He was pretty high up in the union, but he was contracted by the US government to go work at bases that were working on advanced drones, mainly the Reaper drones and the device that catapults it off of ships. But there was rumors and speculation of other drones, large advanced drones, that had a transmedial capability. In other words, they could transition from air to sea to wherever, um, all in the same vehicle. And who knows? But I believe they're most likely ours. If not, they're drones from an adversary or a private company or something like that. But I sure do know this: the technology that our government possesses, we know exactly what they are, whose they are, and why they're here. And if they don't, if the technology is slipping through all that, then the technology is not from this planet. Now, I've personally seen some bizarre things. A group of me and my buddies were having a fire out in my backyard years ago. This is probably 2008 or 9. I was in college, well, my last year of college, I believe. It was about 3 in the morning, and full disclaimer, we were partying, so we were a little, we were feeling good. But I live in a very populated area, high up on a hill that overlooks a big mall, essentially a big shopping mall. And the ambience and the light from all these, you can never really see the stars when you look out that direction. You have to look straight up. But we were looking out over where the mall was, and the ambient light. Um, the sky wasn't that dark, and all of a sudden we saw a flicker. A holographic shape emerged, almost as if there was a cloaking mechanism that was malfunctioning. And there was this strange boomerang shaped craft, um, almost Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a crescent. It was crescent shaped, honestly. Um, and it had markings on it. Like literally, there was numbers. It was English on it, um, and it was shaped like an advanced stealth flying wing, essentially, with these hexagonal panels all over its surface that made it appear invisible. It must have malfunctioned or flickered in and out of its holographic or cloaking state just for about 30 seconds, long enough for us all to catch a glimpse till it faded back out of our visibility. To say, what the fuck was that? What was that? And I'll never forget it. I drew pictures of it the day after. Um, but I had no doubt in my mind that this was something that was ours. It was something that we had developed that no one knows about. And we do have some military bases in my area, quote unquote, decommissioned, but some of them are top secret because they were linked to NASA and to our nuclear program. There's underground silos and bunkers in a base used to be called Johnsville up in Warminster. There's the Horsham Navy base. So there's a lot of places around here where you could covertly get a craft in and out. There are runways that are quote unquote decommissioned but are still operating. So who knows what we have, first of all? The deeper thing is, where do we get it? And if we reverse engineered it from a donation craft or a crashed extraterrestrial vehicle or some ancient technology that was lost in time that was discovered on some dig, if we did all that, and for all these years we had it since Roswell, presumably, or whenever we made the first discovery, maybe we finally reverse engineered it and figured it out. I don't really know. Or maybe it's deeper than that. Maybe there is, well, there has to be other life out there because just in the vastness of the universe's size and endlessness, it's mathematically impossible for there not to be something else out there intelligent. If it if that were the case, then what is their purpose with us? Are we their creation? Are we them, but it's a future version of us? Are they watching from afar? Did they build a fake moon? And the moon is very bizarre. It's hollow. It does not rotate. And in human history, it wasn't always there. In ancient religious texts, in Indian scriptures, the moon was created at a certain time. There was a time when humans, we had no moon. Is the moon a secret base? It would be a great place to keep control over a really, really fancy terrarium if you wanted to, or a fish tank, or however you want to look at it, or petting zoo. Then you have to look at what did our forefathers and what did our ancient spiritual practitioners believe from all different cultures. What were they saying? And it all comes back to this idea of duality. Even in paganism, there's this light and dark duality, even though there was a multitude of gods and polytheism. And as monotheism slowly took hold in most places, as Christianity and Islam and Judaism spread, as these major religious groups, Hinduism. And the Hinduism books are very detailed and bizarre, and they go back way, way further than our Bible and other religious scripture. And they all look at us all of these beliefs look at us as some sort of carrier or vessel for some sort of energy. We call it a soul. Mine's happy and lost. I don't know about yours, but call it a soul. And if every ancient religion or ancient wisdom was telling us that we are the vessel for this all-important soul, then it gets really dark, because then maybe their motivation for protecting us from afar, making sure we don't blow ourselves up, maybe their motivation is devious and full of cruel and evil intent. Maybe our souls are supposed to go and ascend to the next plane of existence, but they're catching them before they can make it and using them. They figured out a way to use that energy, that psychic energy, the energy that we can't see, that's in some other dimension, just escapes us. Maybe we can catch it out of the corner of our eye every now and then. Then maybe all the context of jinn or angels, demons, devils, gods, maybe all this stuff starts to fall into place then, if the soul is real. And maybe these bizarre, far-off, conspiratorial stories of the moon having a base, an extraterrestrial base on it, with a giant device designed to catch these souls before they can transcend to the next plane of existence, are true. Maybe these observations done by remote viewers are real. Maybe our soul has the ability to remotely go anywhere at any time, because all consciousness is everywhere and time isn't linear. It's just perceived that way because we have a lifespan. If the soul is real, then this whole thing takes a crazy turn. The Egyptians aligned the Great Pyramids to Orion's belt. The whole concept was that the soul would fly out of the pyramid, out of the shaft, up through, across the Orion constellation, across through the Milky Way, as it ascends and makes its journey to the afterlife. Oddly enough, the Mesoamerican believe the same thing, and you can see it with their astronomical monuments like Serpent Mound in Ohio, and how these groups in Cahota and in Mound City in Ohio, and these places are aligned exactly like the Egyptians' layout to Orion. And they have the same belief system that the soul goes up through there, across to the Milky Way. This same ancient story all has one commonality, that our flesh and blood bodies are just containers for the true important thing, our souls. And if an extraterrestrial has hijacked our afterlives, that's really gonna suck, huh? And this is one of these darker conspiracies. And these are all just thoughts, and they're not really my own. I've heard these circulating around the world of conspiracy forever, you know. And if you guys are really into the conspiracy stuff, the channel that I want to shout out that I would really check out is called The Y-Files. Go check that out. It's entertaining, but it also delves into some really obscure things I thought no one else knew but me in some circumstances, because I'm into so much obscure areas of thought and study. But yeah, they touch on a lot of these weird conspiratory stories. You don't know if they're hoaxes, if they're fictional, if they're from some satirical newspaper and then got recirculated by a real newspaper, so fake news became real news, but by accident. That kind of stuff happens constantly. But if you want to look into some really far out conspiracies, just go check out the Y Files. He covers pretty much every one of them that I can really think of. Um, there are some that he doesn't, that I've actually probably covered on my channel, about certain obscure historical topics and things like that. But he eventually touches on most of all the far out there conspiracy type stuff. If you're into aliens and secret bases and um, time travel stories and all kinds of different stories, go check out the Y Files. Anyway, his channel's huge now. It was very small a few years ago, blew up. So it's funny. There's a very comedic aspect to it too. So um, I'm sure if you found my channel, you probably already watched that channel though. Anyways, uh, this is just a ramble. Just my thoughts on some current events, some bizarre things in the sky. 90% sure they're ours. I'm 100% sure we know what they are if they're not ours, or if they're ours. And I've witnessed some crazy advanced technology that we have that has still never been released to the public, because I've never seen that craft again in my life that I saw that night. And it even had the little, like, which was crazy, like the star, like the military star or the army star. It had like that on one of the wings. But when it went holographic, you could also see through the lettering too. Couldn't see anybody in it. Um, I don't think it was a manned craft. I think it was probably a drone, with advanced cloaking and propulsion technology. And that was back in 2008-ish or 9-ish. So who knows? But there are my thoughts on UFOs and these strange drone activities. Most likely a psyop, by our own military, especially because new president's coming in. A lot of things are happening in the political spectrum. So, and this channel doesn't get political at all. There's too much of that crap. There's no AI, no politics. So just believe what you want to believe and love all your fellow people. Don't create divisiveness because of your opinions, because every single one of us had a purpose before anyone had an opinion. Anyways, I love you all. Please subscribe. Check out all my other videos. These little ramble and philosophy type things are very sudden, spontaneous, and out of the clear blue. There's not many videos like this. There's a lot of poetry, a lot of original artwork, a lot of original music, and a lot of discussions on archaeology and artifacts. So anyways, please subscribe, stay tuned, and I love y'all. If you're happy, please, if you're lost, please stay happy, because that's when you're going to find your soul. Anyways, I love y'all. Peace.